Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome into another episode of the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. I'm your host, your purveyor of all things dorky within the scope of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. I am Grum. Hello. Good to have you. Welcome in another episode. Good time here. Episode 60. That's right. I know ahead of time. Also, because I have planned out the rest of the year in terms of topics, but not guests. I'm working on that, obviously. But, we got that going on. Episode 60. Fun one today. A long one today. I think we definitely top over 2 hours today. I'll know after I finish this intro and outro and everything. But we are here. It is myself. It is Bask. It is my uncle Chet Ripley with the bad back, talking about Vince McMahon and God. I'm not talking about current stuff. No. Not to be confused with currently what Vince is going through, what God has, putting him through. God got him in the torture rack right now, and both literally, figuratively, and potentially literally. Who knows? But no, we're talking about Backlash 2006. Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon taking on HBK and God. Obviously, this was like, hey, Vince is unhinged as, Vince was unhinged. We ended up talking about it, how he was unhinged for like a good, like, eight or 9 years, on television, I should say, specifically on television. He's been unhinged long time, 40 some odd years, but he's been unhinged on television as a television character from like 98 until about 2007, 2008. He was just impractically just unhinged. He was giving away millions of dollars. We'll get to that. That's a fun one, but that's down the road a little bit. No, today is a fun one. So I guess I should, before we get to that, I should talk about like what's going on my end of things, because I stream once a week, if that. But I end up doing some fun stuff on stream. But like this is one of the very most consistently consistent. Like I get to talk. So like if you're listening to this and you're a member of my community at discord.grum.tv, and whatnot, you might know about this. But if not, I'm going to therapy, and it's not it's not like, oh no, therapy. Why is he so cheer? I'm going through. I'm going to therapy. Like I'm finally doing it. So I'm happy about that. You can congratulate me or be proud. That's cool. I'll appreciate that. I won't throw that to the side. Your appreciation and your pride in me won't throw that away. I'm gonna leave the yawn in there. I'm doing it. So I got that going, and it has got me in a. So I got my first one was like 2 weeks ago as I record this. I got my second one coming up later this week as I record this. But after that, we didn't really talk about much. We just talked, basically get to know, me, type stuff. And I don't know, it just like the immediate weight of finally doing it kind of came off my shoulders, and now I'm actively doing things, and oh, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. But I'm actively doing things, working on stuff. I've got I'm going to have, by the end of this week, I will probably have the rest of this year's Patreon watch-alongs ready to go. Most likely have them also up, ready to post when they come out. So that's good. I have all of my podcast topics planned out, not yet recorded, but planned out. Guests, for the ideal guests that I would like for them, planned. Also this will be done. I just went through part of it's also I had this survey the last couple weeks. Probably won't get it'll be done by the time this episode goes on the Patreon, let alone actually goes up. But the idea of where I want to go with my content also, I do this thing every like 2 years with content, right? I'll be like, all right, cool, I enjoy doing that. Let me try something different. And for the first time in about 2 years, I don't know what I want to do different, but I do know that I want like to try something different. And like in talking with my community, and I did the survey and looking at it, I got a good idea of who's in my community, what my community likes, what my community is interested in currently, what they would be interested in currently, or in the future, I should say, and just ideas. Where like I'm also going to do like, hey, like I'm going to switch up with some of the Patreon tier, the benefits, not switch them up, but like make it so that you can get like something different, right? There's a little bit more. Um, but like my idea that I really like is one that I said is like basically like a wrestling show, but like without having to book talent and book a venue and like do it digital, right? But also do it in a way that like a lot of people are doing it. Like I've seen them, and a lot of people are doing it. I know uh, if a potential future guest that I would like to have on does it once a week every Wednesday, and like that's cool to me. I don't mind that, but I also like want to do it in a way where I am like I'm inspired by Lucha Underground, which we're going to start watching in the Discord again, discord.grum.tv, or just go to grum.tv and the link will be there in the link tree. But I have this idea and being inspired by Lucha Underground of a wrestling show where there's wrestling, but there's also like over the top characters and storylines and things like that. And I have thought about how to do that, and like I'm coming up with an idea, so we're gonna get to that. But yeah, that's what we got going on. Yeah, I'm just excited. I have not too much other than that. I've been on the Grapple Guys a couple episodes in a row now. Last week's episode or 2 weeks probably on the main feed. Is a fun one. It was like a stocks. We doing stocks, so we haven't recorded it yet. So I'm just gonna say it was a good time because buying stock. So we're good. It's gonna be a lot of fun buying stock in wrestlers. So I am very very excited for that. Um, I guess. What else do I have? I don't think I have anything else. Oh, you just continue to support us. Dorkside.tv. Tell your friends about it. It's got all the links that you need. Grum.tv. Same idea, but that one's more about my specific stuff. Also, the YouTube is coming along nicely. I want to say by like October. I want to say by October I'll have everything ready to start uploading. I don't want to say everything will be uploaded by October, but everything will be done by then because I'm about 1 to 2 episodes a day right now, so that's about a month from now. And then make sure everything's there. Shout out Lady Outlier doing some incredible artwork for us, for the shows, for the thumbnails, for everything. It's going to be great. And yeah, appreciate it. So now just let's get to the episode, what you're here for. Myself, Bask, and my Uncle Chet with the bad back, Chet Ripley, talking about Vince McMahon facing God in a wrestling ring. It's insane. It is insane. Here on the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. There's one thing that we are pro here on Dork Side of the Ring that is a subjective thing, not a morally objective thing, but a morally subjective thing. We are pro grandparents here, and we are pro saying hi to grandparents.
Very good. Can confirm.
We're anti-hippo, anti-balloon, but we are pro grandparents.
Damn, what did balloons do to y'all?
Yo, look, all right. I said that it's gonna be. I'll keep it short. Balloons are bad for the environment, man. They are horrible.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
People just be letting them go by the fucking dozens. The amount of plastic that has gone in the air and probably ended up in a bird's stomach because of the people who visit at my cemetery is too damn high. It's too damn high. It's just like I tell people about like the dangers of balloons, and they're like, nah, like but I like balloons. I said, yeah, balloons in your house, and when you're done with them, you throw them out. Yes, recycle them. Yes, letting them go. by yeah, by the dozens. It's not. Rent a dove.
Yeah, I'd rather see that dove go splat than watch its whole family get wrapped up by
bullets. Let me tell you something. It is fun. It is so fun, and this is how I know I'm absolutely, at the very least, I'm not going to heaven, but I am. But I might not. But I laugh every time a dove is released at our cemetery, and a hawk of some or a predator bird of some kind eyes this son of a bitch down and picks it out of the sky. It is the funniest thing. The sound it makes, because it does make a sound of a bird hitting another bird, but one bird
there's a good thud.
Oh yeah,
because you're like, oh shit, somebody fell, and then you look around and you realize, oh no, there's a little pile of white dove feathers on the ground over there. So yeah, that must be it.
There's nothing funnier than watching ospreys just go through and just pick fish out of the water. It's so funny.
Oh yeah.
It is so good. It is so satisfying to see, especially in slow motion. I've not been able to actually get it on camera fully. But I'm trying. I'm trying. One time the bird literally grabbed it immediately out of the handler's hand. Like the handler let go of it, bam, immediately. Like it was waiting for it. I'm like, God damn, these birds are smart.
And it's one of those where it's like that just puts some bad juju over this funeral. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're like, this dove represents your loved one and their journey to heaven, and it's like immediately grabbed out of the sky by a hawk, and you're like,
oh no,
are they not making it? Like, did we just,
What's the video?
If I had wings.
Yes.
Like this dove. Well, then I would fly away.
There's one that I have where they're doing it right next to a highway, and they release the dove, and someone's work truck drives by and just smokes all the
I gotta find it. Find it, because I have never seen that, and nothing is funny.
Yes, I need this.
Nothing is the greatest sports gif of all time. Without a doubt, is Randy Johnson smoking a bird with a fastball.
Oh, of course.
Okay? There is nothing that tops that. No highlight play. Butt fumble is close. But there is Daniel Jones fumbling, tripping over his own feet on a breakaway. Also close. But the fact that a bird just gets smacked. Just absolutely domed. Bro, and that's the box. That is the same set box that they use, one of the companies do. It is. I'm eyeing up. I'm like, that is. I need this. I can't wait. There's been some, working in a cemetery has provided some very interesting, and only once. I thought never in my life, let alone twice, 3 times have I seen fights. I've somewhere I'm like, okay, I need to get out of the area because somebody's going to their trunk.
Time to go.
Yep, time to look. When somebody scuffed my Jordans, I'm about to let me go to my trunk. That's when I get going. Because that person's unhinged and at a funeral.
I'm not sitting here trying to play Max Payne hiding amongst a bunch of tombstones here.
No.
I'm just leaving.
I'm gonna go on the other side of the cemetery.
Dude, if you watch that video, by the way, the funniest part of that video is you hear the thud of the bird hitting the front of the truck, and then the gasp of all of the. It's perfect theater. It's perfect.
Again, the speed of sound is much faster than people think. It is.
Mm-hmm.
You hear things and you're like, "What happened?" That's so funny,
and it hits the horse trailer. So it's loose metal too. So it's not like it's like a slap, like something hitting the green monster.
It's a bird. It's the sound of a bird hitting sheet metal.
It's exactly at high speeds.
It's exactly what you would expect the sound to be, and that's all I can ask for.
Oh man, it's good. I can't.
Listen, have I watched it 15 times already? Like it's the damn Zapruder film? Sure.
It's so good.
We're here on the dork side of the ring.
But it's so good.
We're here on the dork side of the ring. We're talking birds hitting sheet metal and meeting their maker much sooner than they expected at the inopportune times. We're here with the pals coming back. We got Bask. Welcome back, pal.
Hello.
And we got my Uncle Chet Ripley with the bad back.
Hey, how you doing?
We got him in a nice ergonomic chair, resting because of the bad back. But yeah, look, there's one thing I can promise you. My Uncle Chet with the bad back is going to be how I end up advertising your appearance. People are like, you have an Uncle Chet? I'm like, yeah, with the bad back.
Yeah, the bad back.
He is the community uncle. He is not one of our uncles. He is our uncle. Our as in the group of human beings. Our uncle.
Ours and yours.
Yes.
Viewers and listeners. I say viewers because I'm getting in the process of putting these things on YouTube. So who knows?
Oh hell yeah!
Who knows when this will get on to YouTube? But because I'm slowly I have to basically render one a day, so that's like 50 or so. Well, this is episode 59, 50, 60, something like that. So it's about 2 months it'll take to render everything. But yeah, we're here. Good times aplenty. If you couldn't tell by the little pre-talking we did. Bask, do me the favor of reintroducing yourself to the people, where people can find you, what you got going on, and the such.
My name is Bask. I also go by Lucas. I really don't care which one you use, but I'm sitting currently in my basement, talking to my pals. I have nowhere to plug. I'll be honest. I just kind of hang out. So yeah, I don't know where to go from here. So back to you. I have no clue what to do.
Incredible. Yeah, Bask, the man of few words. No one's ever claimed that Bask is talks too much. Never, ever. No. Chet, my Uncle Chet with the bad back.
Yes, sir.
Do the people a little bit of a favor. Reintroduce yourself and the such.
I am Uncle Chet Ripley. I am a niche corner of the internet's magical drunk uncle. I have been permanently banned from Twitter for 5 years now. I am, as always, a Mike Francesa enthusiast. And if you find me on the internet in any way, shape, or form, I will block you and I will report you. So don't come finding me. I will find you.
And I just want to point out, mind you, he was not blocked for what your other uncle would be saying, which is like racist things on the internet.
No.
He was not removed from Twitter for that. Like, I'm just going to make sure that's
No, 5 years ago was 27. Chet was in the mud. He was out there calling whole bunch of MAGA folks a bunch of idiots, and he was waging war. He looked like Jon Snow, just like, all right.
Yeah, I want to make it very clear. It was post 2016 election. Post.
Chet got banned because he was doing the right thing on Twitter. Like, that's like
actually, like engaging in discourse, and they banned
Just explain to me how it's not a cult. That's all I'm asking.
Oh, it absolutely, that shit is a cult, man, and it is a horrible cult too. At least like Jonestown had they were wearing some fly kicks and shit. So 5 years ago, I was tweeting at Donald Trump every day, some variation of this tweet. But I just threw it into the chat. Hey,
you big draft. I don't even.
Wait. Hey, big draft dodge. Can you X-ord Mumford & Sons to be the new Nickelback? Any word on those tax records? Dude, you just that's like a shit posting at Donald Trump. I absolutely get I know for a fact of the three people that you tagged in that tweet, you tagged Donald Trump, Mumford & Sons, and Nickelback. I guarantee Mumford & Sons was like, who the fuck is it? That's it. Report this man. I'm tired of this man.
Yeah, they had their connect at Twitter was like, enough.
Dude, I did that, some variation of, hey, big, whatever. Can you executive order Mumford & Sons to be the new Nickelback? And then I would just add, the last couple were just anything that he had done stupidly that day. So that was when he was going, I'm not releasing.
Anywhere everybody on the Paris Climate Agreement.
Yeah, exactly. When Scaramucci got fired, it was something about Scaramucci. When every day for about 65 days.
And mind you, I want to point out, he did not put like a period in front of @RealDonaldTrump, so no one else saw this.
You think my Uncle Chet with the bad back knows how to make sure everybody can see him hollering at Donald Trump?
It was just between me and those three. Those are the only people that needed to see this.
It's just get me in a room with Donald Trump, the lead singer of Mumford Sons, and Chad Kroger, and I'll solve everything.
Yeah. When Chet passes away, the four people that will be judging him: God, Trump, Mumford and Sons, and Nickelback.
It's funny you bring up God today.
Oh no!
View tweet activity 4.
It's literally you reopening it, and then those three looking at it going, "Who the fuck is this guy? This is ridiculous."
He's got a picture of Jesse Ventura talking about how he's been partying with REO Speedwagon. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah,
His only other tweets are asking explain how it's not a cult, and he called Adam Schefter a pansy. What the fuck?
Assault.
Oh my god!
Look, the best part, so a lot to take from that thing. Number one, Jesse Ventura is batshit insane. However, I feel like I want to be on his, I want him on my side of things if worse comes to worse, because I know our morals tend to go maybe not step in step, but he called out all the January 6th rioters and Capitol chargers on Chris Jericho's podcast, whose wife was there, and Jericho's just yeah. He's they're not patriots, they're fucking idiots, and I'll fucking I took up an oath, because he's so he is your idea of what a typical, for those who don't know, Jesse Ventura used to be a pro wrestling commentator, former governor of Minnesota. He has claimed multiple times that the Democrats give him their Democratic nomination for president and he'll win, including in 2016. He goes, he's like, I'll beat Trump hands down, but they don't want me to. So they don't even want one of their own. They want they want Hillary to do it, and she's not going to do it. It's wow, look at the come on, Jesse, that common sense. I'm wow, Jesse Ventura, predictor of things.
Also, former decorated Navy SEAL, Jesse Ventura.
I was going to bring that up
in Vietnam.
Because
also host of a great conspiracy theory show that if you were a little stoned or something, you'd laugh your ass off at it.
And the good
allegedly.
And look,
thermite on the beams at Tower 7.
Not the super dangerous anti-Semitic based ones.
Borders on anti-Semitic.
He just goes in the 9/11 one is probably about the farthest out there he'll do, but he'll do big.
Oh no, they invented a machine that can alter the weather, and the weather will actually change. I can't really do it, Jesse Ventura, but
he's got one. I need to get his down. Look, I saw Karrion Kross do one, and he nailed it, and I'm like,
oh my god,
don't make me like this guy. It was good.
Oh yeah,
very good.
Oh, with Chris Van Vliet, right? Working out.
Yeah.
There's a story about Jesse Ventura. So firstly, the only reason we can have fireworks in I'm from Minnesota. I think y'all know that by now, but the listeners, if you listen to my other one, I said I was from Minnesota. But yeah, I'm from Minnesota. The only reason we can have any sort of fireworks is because of Jesse Ventura.
What a sentence!
Wait, I need to hear the backstory here. How does Jesse Ventura? How is he the reason, the firework purveyor of the firework federale of Minnesota?
Because if I remember correctly, everyone was like, "Dude, we're gonna get rid of bottle rockets. We're gonna get rid of all this stuff." And he was like, okay, you can get rid of bottle rockets, whatever, but we gotta have some sort of firework. At least that's what I remember being told when I was a kid. Then it could be completely wrong, but I think that's what happened.
That's so awesome.
I gotta find it now.
That's insane. That's like, I'm not a big fan of fireworks, but when done right, they're great. But like,
Yeah.
the idea that like Jesse the Body Ventura is just like, no, we've got to keep fireworks. You get rid of all the other nonsense, but these fireworks, they represent, because everything with Jesse Ventura is just about America. Like, he loves America, but he loves what America actually like stands for. Like, I think when Colin Kaepernick took a knee, he was like, I fought for him to have that honor, and to be
Yeah.
able to
I
do
found
that.
it. I
Like,
found it. So,
oh no, go
sorry,
ahead.
it's all fireworks were banned in Minnesota until 2002, when then Governor Jesse Ventura signed a bill into law that would allow non-aerial and non-explosive fireworks, such as sparklers and fountains.
Oh, the good one. Yeah.
He's the only reason we can have any sort of fireworks in Minnesota.
That's funny.
It's what I like: snakes and sparklers.
Yeah.
I actually wonder if like his military background like was like the reason like we're not having any bottle rockets, no explosives. You can have you can have sparklers and you can have smoke bombs.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the good stuff, gorilla.
I want Jesse the Body Ventura, but Governor Ventura to be the fireworks salesman of a Joe Dirt remake. Where like,
Yes.
you don't have these. He's like, God damn it, I don't like them. I'm like, no, like, I want, these are the good things, Joe. Like, it's just like, because as soon as you said like this is the good stuff, there's snakes and sparklers, I was like, no, that's exactly. I need him in Joe Dirt selling fireworks. But then like when the shit goes wrong, and he's just like, God damn it, Joe. And he just starts fucking choking out Joe Dirt. Like,
Does he still have the super macho man from Punch Out Skullet?
Has to.
No,
to.
I think he's bald. I think he finally accepted being bald.
He finally came home.
Yeah.
So
unlike Hogan.
I've just been looking up Jesse Ventura fireworks, just trying to find anything, and I've stumbled across this 2019 Minnesota Public Radio News article. And it says, 20 years ago, on Wednesday, former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura held his memorable inaugural ball. He had his own ball as governor. The event at Target Center featured music, fireworks, and the new governor wearing a fringe jacket, feather boa, and a Jimi Hendrix t-shirt. Warren Zevon, I think it's Zevon, I don't know how to pronounce it, performed...
Zevon?
Yeah, that guy, the Werewolves of London guy.
Oh, yeah.
Performed his hit song "Lawyers, Guns, and Money." The governor even joined him on stage for a special unrehearsed duet of "Werewolves of London."
That's awesome.
He's just like the most like perfectly like this guy's kind of a dork, but we also kind of love him at the same time kind of guy.
Yeah.
Look, if anybody like Jesse the Body Ventura, pro union, pro like
a hero,
like he's just a war hero, incredible in Predator, like. He would,
yeah, we didn't even get there.
Right? Like he's an incredible actor in Predator and any other movie that involves wartime. Like he's just the best kind of general. Like he just like you're like, God damn it! I know he's a dickhead, but like I'll fight for that man.
It's the jaw. It's the jawline. Powerful jawline.
It really is. I love how we got into talking about it. Really that's
just him. That's him.
Yeah, no, that's it. He's got a strong jaw, and everything else is going, but that jawline's gonna remain. He's gonna have an open casket, and people are still gonna salute him because of that jawline.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna be able to get it closed with that thing sticking out.
Oh man,
I will save it for another day. But there is a wild story about former Navy SEAL sniper Chris Kyle. Do you know who I'm talking?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
and
I'm not saying yes. I know. I'm saying yes. Like yes.
Allegedly, yes. Go on.
So basically, this story I want to point out. This story was in Chris Kyle's book. Don't ask how I know that. It basically Chris Kyle, notorious piece of shit. There's a story in his book about how he was in a bar somewhere. I can't remember if it was I'm pretty sure it was when he was home. And for some reason I think Salt Lake City. I don't know why. Either way. And in his book, he said that he got into a bar fight with Jesse Ventura over some bullshit.
Nah, I know Jesse Ventura confronted the version I want is Jesse the Body Ventura like going like you're not a real hero, like you're a poser, like you don't do it. We didn't do it for honor back at like we did it for the honor and the privilege of fight.
Not the accolades.
Not the accolades, you punk. And like that's exactly he just calls him a punk and then socks him in the mouth. That's the version of the story I want to believe. Don't ever tell me a different version, Bask.
Also Jesse Ventura, big union guy.
Big union.
We need him and JB Pritzker on the ticket together. Comrade JB.
Known, yes. But yeah, so it was like they apparently got in this fight. He put it in his book. When Chris Kyle was like doing his book tour, he talked about how he got in a bar fight with him. And so then Jesse Ventura sued him.
That's so
Jesse better.
He was like, this shit didn't happen. So he sued Chris Kyle and ended up winning up $1.35 million from it.
Nah, I want the story that it still did happen, but Jesse knew he couldn't prove it, so he said, I'm going to fucking sue this man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was $1.8 million in 2018.
Jeez, good
awesome.
Good on Jesse.
Good. That's the last that I see. I can't remember, because Ventura v. Kyle, case text. Oh yeah, there's a whole...
Oh god. I just love that Jesse, like, is just... unapologetically like he has his viewpoints on things and like he will defend them, but also like he's very much like, all right, like subjectivity is a thing. And like he's like, all right, I don't know everything, but what I do know is this and that and this, and it's like, okay, Jesse, like that's, he's like, we should unions are good. I tried to start a union in the 80s and fucking Hulk Hogan, that bootlicker, every time, like he doesn't straight up call Hogan a bootlicker, but he does call him like Vince McMahon. Like he's so far up Vince's ass. I told him that if we could do it, then if he was in, we'd change the industry for the better for the boys. And he told Vince and had me fired.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, you're telling me I won't make the most money? Like, no, not at all. Like, you could still make the most money. We just want better working conditions. Hulk doesn't work for me, brother. Like,
sorry.
Have fun down.
We will be on the road doing double and triple shots a day for 300 days a year.
Yeah.
Sorry, brother.
Sorry, brother. That doesn't work for me.
I just don't want him near my daughter.
It's like, and the idea that like Jesse's like, what if we just don't, like, Hulk never bumps, so he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. This ring's fine. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And meanwhile,
twice a match.
Meanwhile, like, Savage is like, God damn it, brother, my back is kind of jacked up. Steamboat's over there, his all back is contorted. It's like, what the fuck? Like, that early ring, horrible from all stories.
Oh, God. It was like a boxing ring.
It probably was. Vince probably saved money by just using a boxing ring.
Probably like a shitty old one from the garden.
Yeah.
Got it on like layaway.
You guys getting rid of that? I'll take it. I'll take it. He's driving around. I'm just envisioning him driving with a big box truck, like looking for a wrestling ring in the trash can. Like, all right.
Just a canvas over plywood.
There's no give to it. No,
zero. Absolutely none.
You break a 2x4 every time you get body slammed.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Hogan never. I'm not bumping, brother.
Sorry, brother.
I'll bump tonight. Like, hey, you gonna bump tonight, Hogan? Nope. No.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Chet. Tell
Sure.
the people, what's your so while we're getting into it, it's very obvious you are versed in pro wrestling, but what is your background with professional wrestling and sports entertainment?
So I have basically been watching it my entire life. Like, I have two older brothers, and so like always just kind of on.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped watching probably around like 2001, but I also used to work in like concert and venue production. So like I've worked like a couple Monday Night Raws, a couple TNA shows, bunch of house shows, stuff like that. So like I've seen like a little bit of like the inner workings to a degree ish, like just how like the show gets put on. Not really like anything about like writing or any of that stuff.
Yeah, Uncle Chet was actually inside the kayfabe for a long time.
But yeah.
Whoa.
I have taken a bump in a WWF ring and a TNA ring.
Nice.
Allegedly.
No. That was cool. Like that when we worked the shows, like the guys, you know, the TNA guys were just I mean, those dudes are wearing flip flops.
Yeah.
Building a ring, and so they were just like, yeah, you know, we don't have to break this down for another half hour. You guys want to go in there and fuck around? Go right ahead. But the WWF one was more like that was an NXT show when they did like one of their tours.
Oh, okay.
It came through Asbury Park, and it was like one of those like when no one was looking, you just kind of ran in and did it real quick.
Boom,
whereas
right.
TNA was literally like, hey, where's Kurt Angle? We don't know where Kurt Angle is. We are filming TV.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So I got back. So from like 2001 to 2002, I was out probably till like my nephew was like 4 or 5. So maybe like 2012, 2013, right before like the Yes movement kicked off.
Okay. Yeah,
and then I was really,
yeah.
So we were super into it then, and then, you know, just kind of casual viewing, you know, the Court has actually helped out a lot, especially growing with like you hosted like the pay-per-views and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of it is like you don't have to, like, when you just watch the pay-per-views, you don't have to follow along like every single week, because the video packages they do before everything get you right up to speed.
Yeah. Like it's no longer a point. Like there's very, very few things that are appointment television nowadays, and like WWE kind of understood that sooner before everybody, but they also are like, we need to make it somewhat appointment viewing. Like maybe the show itself, but we'll have characters. Like we'll boil it down. Like Raw used to be like appointment viewing in the you know, the Attitude Era, so it was Nitro, because you're like, I don't know what's going to happen on the show, and now you're like, they're like, well, we just want John Cena to be the appointment. Like we want Roman Reigns to be, Seth Rollins, Becky. Like we want the individuals.
Yeah.
You know, like to float, right? You know, to float the show.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a 4-on-4 to end the show, and it's gonna end in a big brawl, and you know, you're not gonna really catch it until the review. So it's like, I don't really have to watch.
Yeah, which is interesting because now, like with Triple H being in charge of creative, no more Vince and whatnot, seeing that change for the first time in 20 some odd years is going to be insane to see. But I want to go back. Bask, what was that word you used? You said Uncle Chet was in the kayfabe?
Allegedly.
What?
Well, I mean, we've been kayfabing my name the whole time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. But where'd you learn that word, Bask?
From you, actually, Grum.
Hey. All right.
Hey.
All right. Just hope. See, folks. If we're unsure, if you just thought I was bullshitting you when I said people like teach people about wrestling, I teach Bask. Bask is under my learning tree.
Many don't know, but this is actually a educational podcast.
It is. I would put it as an educational one if wrestling fans generally knew how to read. And they don't.
No, they do not know how to read.
They heard Ric Flair's last match and they said, "Okay, well, I'll be there." And then they like, "Who's on? I don't care who's on the card. Ric Flair's there." But
yeah, they had like one of the most stacked cards ever, and they were like, "Ric Flair."
Ric Flair. That's it. Don't care about anybody else. Ric Flair. You're Diamond Dallas Page. Also.
His retirement lasted a whole week.
Wait, really?
He was down in Puerto Rico doing a show with Carlos Colon, and they got into it, and it's like, please no.
Did he? He didn't actually wrestle though, did it?
No, but they had like a dust up, which means
there's gonna be
it's gonna be Andrade versus Epico or Primo or
Carlito.
Carlito.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he's like the champ down there. We're going to have to watch Carlos Colon at 90 years old. We're going to watch two senior citizens die. It's going to be like that episode of Family Guy with the Nazi and Herbert the Pervert.
Dude,
They fight
I opened up Twitter and I saw like the clips from his quote unquote last fight.
Yeah.
Does he have someone who can help him? No.
Dude. No, that's the problem. Is nobody tells him no, and when they tell him no,
he does it.
Just keeps doing it.
Like he's like it's weird, right? So it was funny. I was listening to the Jake the Snake, DDP Snake Pit, the one with Jake the Snake and DDP. It's Conrad's thing. They were talking about Dusty Rhodes and like the Rhodes family and whatnot. And this is around the time where Cody was leaving AEW, or he had left AEW, but he had not joined WWE yet. And they were talking about Dusty passing away, and Dusty or DDP tells the story that I'd never heard, where like Cody's talking to him, and like he's like, if Dusty wanted to, Dusty would have died in the ring. Like that's how he wanted to go out. And it's like, and it's like, all right, I understand. Like it didn't. I knew Flair always wanted to die in the ring. Like he just wants to die with the lights on him. Like that is an old wrestler thing. Like that's why you see so many wrestlers wrestling decrepitly, like at the age of 62 when they can barely fucking walk and don't have a working hip or shit. Like, I mean, like look at The Undertaker. Like you just go until your wheels literally fall off. But like eventually somebody talks some sense into you and be like, hey, you got grandkids. Like, maybe don't die in the ring.
Yeah, like, there are people who actually do want to talk to you at some point in your life.
Rick, you had to wrestle with a shirt on to keep your Tony Stark machine covered up. Please stop.
I'm sure he still gets like the residuals from the Ric Flair drip music video, right?
Yeah, that probably all went to his fourth or fifth ex-wife, though.
Well, that's the thing, right? He's like, he's like, I'm not doing this for money. It's like, then why are you doing it? Because like, you're not gonna wrestle good. Like, they were doing all those shots about him like working out and how he's in better shape than he was 50, the last time, he wrestled a big match and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I know you're just bullshitting and just doing wrestling talk, but you have to come out and actually look good. The man was dying like Andrade gave him I don't know if anybody saw this. I took the pleasure of watching the match with a friend who had purchased legally the show. And so Andrade goes to give him the brass knucks that Conrad tosses Andrade, which is such a wild thing that Andrade El Idolo, one of like at one point one of the most up and coming like Mexican superstar wrestlers, is the brother-in-law of like the podcasting powerhouse of pro wrestling, and he's just a weird world. And then he goes to give Flair the knucks, and Flair can't get his hands into it because he can't unbend his fingers enough. Like his left hand is permanently curling his fingers, and they're like, "Come on!" And he's like, I can't. So they put in his other hand, and he's just like convulsing, and I'm like, does nobody realize this man's dying? And then like
we're literally watching his heart stop, for Christ's sake.
We're watching him wrestle.
Where's the defibrillator, man? Come on.
Like that's the thing is like I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh man, like I don't want him to die, but god damn it, I do want to watch it live. Like if it's gonna happen in the ring, I do kind of want to be like, I watched Ric Flair die. I watched one of the greats.
It's the Darren Rovell tweet. When Trump I think it was when Trump got elected, where he was like, this is terrible for the country, but this is amazing content, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel terrible for Ric Flair, but this is amazing content.
Yeah, it's like I'm sick. This is why I'm also another reason why I'm not going to heaven. Bask, Bask.
Let me just keep going.
Yeah, I asked Uncle Chet about his background in pro wrestling. What about yours? What is your background with pro wrestling?
Couldn't be less. Well, to be honest with you, I think absolutely the most wrestling content that I've taken in, close enough, good enough grammar, was absolutely from watching and listening to A, the Dork Side, and B, we allegedly will stream things in the VC, in a voice chat, so we can watch things together as a group. So I've watched, what did I watch last year? With you.
The milk bath, right?
What'd you say?
The milk bath.
Yeah, it was the milk, but there was something else.
It's probably one of the Wrestlemania.
Yeah, one of the pay-per-views. I can't remember what it was.
Probably Roman trying to kill Kevin Owens with a golf.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome. So it was like that, and then I watched like a little bit of this last SummerSlam, like the final match of this last SummerSlam. So like,
oh hell yeah!
I watched I've seen like maybe a total of actually like sitting and watching live, not like like old clips or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 3 or 4 hours. So I don't know a ton, but I've watched a little.
All right.
You know enough because you saw the 2 greatest moments of the past 5 years. You watched a man ride farm equipment to the ring and try to murder somebody with it more than once.
And then Kevin Owens going through the windshield of a golf cart. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah. And Roman with the most dead look in his face while he did it.
He did not care at all for that man.
When I say that was like, I was okay. This is cool. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Again, wrestling. The less you take wrestling seriously, the better it gets. Because, like, the last man standing match, right? It should have been a 5-star from Uncle Dave.
Fuck that guy.
But like, a match involved a man lifting. Like, the idea of the match is that you literally beat your opponent until he can't get up for 10 seconds minimum, right? And this man said, "I'm gonna lift this. I'm gonna bring a tractor in, and I'm gonna lift up the ring. And and whatever happens, happens." That is incredible. That is incredible content. Nobody ever, I don't care who can do a 450 wrist lock, front flip, somersault, pin combo. I don't care. Motherfucker, only one man has ever drone a tractor and lifted the ring in the middle of a match, all right?
Yeah. You want your 5-star classics?
Not me.
Not me. I watched a man try to murder a man. Also, credit to the mic throw and catch at the beginning when Brock introduced himself. Perfect ball placement. Perfect ball placement.
And the nonchalantness of Roman just like, yeah, I caught that. That's how you know. I feel like LeBron's done this before. You have those gifs of the GOAT or somebody who is at the top of their game just doing something incredibly smooth, and it's just another thing for them. Steph Curry shoots a fucking, half-court buzzer beater to win the game. He just shrugs, whatever. He does a little shimmy, but, whatever. It's another day at the office. Do
it again next week.
Yeah, I'll do it again. Roman will be Roman. But yeah, see, and I'm glad I got this dichotomy here. We did it last time with you, Chet. We had Blam on, somebody who's never watched pro wrestling, and we watched. Oh my god! We watched.
The only thing he'd seen was the Dominic Mysterio rematch.
I will say, before we get into it, that's the only thing I knew because my friends would use that, would joke about that all the time. That's the only thing I knew before ever listening to Dorkside or watching anything was the custody of Dominic match.
Again, you don't really remember, Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat, but you sure as hell remember that man's child crying in the crowd.
The only way it could have got better if he was actually dangling from the ceiling. That's
like a shark cage.
We covered that on the Dork Side. I had my friends Oren and Shawningham do it. I want to say episode 30 something, and
that was a good episode.
It's such a the watch along is now on the Patreon now. It's up there to watch, but we're watching it, and I'm sitting there. I'm pretty sure this is a spot where Eddie Guerrero screams, "Where the fuck is Vicky?" And the match goes on for another 10 minutes. And I'm pretty sure that this is the spot. And then it goes on. I'm like, damn, this match is really good. But the only things I remember from it are that Dominic Mysterio stops Eddie from climbing up, and that Vicky missed her cue, and Eddie screaming, "Where the fuck is Vicky?" Like, you know, because those are the moments from the match.
Yeah. And there's a couple like horrific off the ladder bumps that Ray takes, and it's
awful. Awful. I was like, damn, like, and from the start too, not just like oh, he just like middle of the match, like the start of it is like him like sentoning from the top rope to the outside onto a ladder. Like it's ridiculous.
Bischoff and Vince, I mean, obviously they won't see heaven.
No.
But part of it is they're going to have to answer for a lot of the things they let happen to Rey Mysterio. Because by all accounts, he's like the nicest dude in the world. And they're like, yeah, you know what? We're going to have this 7-foot guy put you on a bodyboard, strap you down, and then blast the ring post with you.
And then you're going to be tied down so you can't break your fall, so your face fucking hits the goddamn mat. Like, bam, thud. Talk about a dove hitting a... Like that,
Dove hitting a shit.
Bask, watch this GIF.
I think it's the most insane thing. So Big Show for the viewer, Rey Mysterio, who is 5'6", if that, is on a orange bodyboard that you would put on like on a stretcher for somebody who is having like a spinal or neck injury and they have to be like, you know, stationary down. Big Show, who is 7 feet tall, 500 pounds, and fucking stronger than an ox, picks up Rey Mysterio, throws him over his shoulder, and swings him with the same speed as a Ken Griffey home run derby swing at a fucking ring post. And then lets go of Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio falls face first onto the ground. He can't break his fall because his arms are tied to his side. It is incredible that, you know, Rey Mysterio is still alive. But
yeah,
also that the Big Show wasn't tried for murder.
Yeah, we walked out there.
Yeah, that's actually against the Geneva Convention.
And I think that was a SmackDown match, like on TV. I don't like.
Oh, it was definitely a TV. But yeah, it was like a weekly. Let me see if I can.
Because I'm pretty sure that led to Big Show versus Brock Lesnar in a stretcher match at Judgment Day.
Or when. God,
I think I'm not entirely sure. It's like, and like 2003 is a wild time for SmackDown because we've got a parking lot brawl between Eddie Guerrero and John Cena. Literally just covered it. Incredible. We've got Mr. America, like Vince McMahon feuding with Hulk Hogan to the point where Hulk Hogan becomes Mr. America. You've got Rikishi versus Roddy Piper. You've got this segment here with Big Show swinging Rey Mysterio. You've got Big Show eating some poison burritos and having to shit himself. Then being covered in shit. You've got Brock Lesnar pushing a one-legged man down a flight of stairs. Vince McMahon arm wrestling a one-legged man and kicking his prosthetic leg out so that he loses balance. You have Vince McMahon wrestling his daughter in an I Quit match. You have Vince McMahon wrestling The Undertaker in a Buried Alive match. It's 2003 is a. I need to do if I do a full YouTube thing. SmackDown 2003, the entire calendar year, is getting looked at because it's insane the shit that they end up doing. And then there's also really good wrestling. Like we had Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle in an Iron Man in a Iron Man match. You had Brock Lesnar versus Angle at WrestleMania where it ends because Brock Lesnar decides to do a fucking shooting star press 3/4 away, like opposite corner, and fucking jams his neck up. And if he didn't have such a thick fucking neck, he's broke his neck and is paralyzed. It's just insane the amount of stuff that happened just on SmackDown in 2003.
Yeah, not to mention Brock Lesnar almost beating that legless man to death in front of his mother.
That too, yeah, I watched that. That was also because I forgot what it was. To find out that Zach Gallen's kind of a dickhead also makes it like refreshing. like he's like, yeah, no, I'm the one-legged wrestler, and it's like, yeah, doesn't give you a right to be a dickhead. Like what the fuck?
You're not that special. They literally had Brock Lesnar almost kill you just to make sure that you can never come back to TV.
Yeah, absolutely insane. But while we bring up Vince McMahon, we've talked a little bit about how he's, retired and no longer, behind the pencil. Today's topic does involve Vince McMahon, and it does involve a worker being upset with their boss, right? Now, my question to both of you, and I'm sure, Chet, you've got an incredible story, but we'll start with Bask. Bask, think through your head, have you ever had an interaction or seen an interaction where your boss quickly and promptly gets hit with some karma?
See, I've been blessed to have halfway decent bosses my entire life.
Okay.
I'm only 22. So my entire working life is 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean not really, because outside of the 3 months one summer I worked for what was that place? It's a movie theater. Worst place I ever worked. Outside the 3 months that I worked there, I've had pretty good bosses. So normally my bosses don't really get hit with karma that much. I'll be honest.
All right. Okay. Well, lucky you. Generally, bosses are horrible. I had one.
For sure. No, I'm not. Yeah, absolutely.
Working at a grocery store, my one boss, my boss's boss, was absolute top of the line asshole, to the point where if you have time to lean, you have time to clean.
Ugh.
So I'm leaning because my back, I had a football game the night before and my back was kind of hurting, so I was leaning. And they were like, all right, well, hey, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. I'm like, I'm just stretching my back out. It hurts. And he comes up and he's like, if your back hurts, then you can go home. And I'm like, okay, I'll go home. And I literally clocked out. Right, and
don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, I clock out, right, and I come back to work the next day for my shift, and they're like, "Hey, we need to talk to you up in HR, or the HR office, which is a little rinky-dink side room."
Is it a closet?
Yeah, basically, and they're like, and he was in there, and they're like, "You left yesterday." I was like, "Yeah, he said I could leave," and they're like, "He's like, that's not what I said." I said, "Did you or did you not tell me?" I'm maybe 17 at this time. Did you tell me that if my back hurt so much I could go home? And he goes, no, I'm like, and somebody else, I'm like, do you know what? We can look, I wasn't just a conversation between me and you. There were other people around. They heard this. Do you want to bring that up? And HR is now looking at him okay, what the hell is going on? Because you told us that he just left.
Yeah, let's go check the proverbial tape.
And so he's like, well, who? And I'm like, oh, this person who's here. And they call them up, and they're like, hey, question. Yesterday, did so-and-so leave it? It said, yeah, they said that if his back hurt, that he could go home.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they're like, all right, thank you. And then they go back down, and then they're like, they just give it, the person, because his boss is now there. Because it escalated to the point where, he's got to find out what the hell happened. And his boss is like, okay. He goes, did your back really? I'm like, I could have worked, but I was given the option to go home. I was told that I could go home. I'm going to take that opportunity. And the guy goes, well, we would appreciate even if that is offered to you, you would stick it out. You work. I said, no, I'm not, I could go get another job. I'm 17 years old working for minimum wage. I can go get another job. This is nothing to me. You guys don't need me. I don't need you. We're both here because we're just here. But if somebody who with the authority to send me home tells me I can go home, I'm going to go home. And if you get mad at me for that, I don't understand why am I in trouble? And they're like, no, you're not in trouble. I'm like, okay, then what is the whole point of this?
So are we done here?
I'm like, if I'm not in trouble, then can I go to work? Or can I go home? You guys gonna send me home again? That's fine with me too. And his worker's like, no, we do need you here. I'm like, okay, cool. So I leave. he ends up getting like, as I'm leaving, I'm hearing his boss's voice rise, and I'm like, I need to slow down a little bit. Like, I want to hear, like, oh wait, let me, oh no, let me tie my shoe, and like he's just getting reamed into it, and like, go back, downstairs, I go back to working on the front end, I'm bagging groceries or whatever, and someone was like, oh my God, are you in trouble? I said, no, but I think so and so is. They come down, they clock out, and they leave.
Oh no,
rad.
They come
rad.
back, they come back in 2 weeks, and they apologize to me. They're like, I'm sorry that I put you in that position, and I was like, apology accepted. Come to find out,
I also don't care.
They got sent home for 2 weeks unpaid because of that bullshit.
Gosh.
Because like unauthorized allowing of early like they couldn't get mad at me because I literally was like, I just did what he told me to do.
Yeah.
Told me to go home. I'm back.
And even if you know better, like you could just play like the dumb 17-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You told me I could leave. What do you want me to do?
That's
cool.
Yeah. Like and like
you're supposed to respect our elders.
So like he ends up
Who's the boss?
He ends up transferring and like my boss then becomes like his spot, and they come out and they're like, yeah, no, apparently like they were very mad at like my predecessor because he that wasn't the first time, like there was a pattern, but I was the first one that like had proof that like
took him up on it.
Took him up on it. Like apparently he was being
awesome.
a dickhead to people. I'm like, if that's such a problem, then leave. Like, and people are like, no, like because I need because he's doing it to full-time people, and like I'm sitting there like, bro, don't tell me to leave. If you have authority and you tell me that I can go home, I'm going to go home because you're the one who told me I could go home. Like,
there's gonna be a trail of dust behind me like a damn Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
All right,
I'm begging people, please stop threatening people with a good time. I'm begging you.
Yeah,
begging you. Speaking of good time,
you want to drink that beer? Well, I will. Please, no. I don't want to drink that.
I know you got a good story of a boss finding a foot proverbially up their ass, or literally up their ass. Lay it on us.
How much time we got?
We got time. We got time.
So on my current job, I've been working for this company on and off since like 2004. So I started there when I was like 17. So my one boss, I've known him like basically my entire life. Great people, but he's finally just started saying to me about 6 or 7 years ago, stop looking at me in that tone of voice. Because he will sometimes say things and I'll just look at him and like cock my head like a bit of like a confused dog. And he just he finally figured out like, oh, if he's doing that, that means I'm about to fuck something up, aren't I?
That's such a good phrasing. Stop looking at me in that tone of voice. I'm gonna take
it's
that.
The proverbial head nod of
like a dog's like kind of confused,
Yeah,
like just kind of cock it.
The Kane look when you were talking to Mass Kane, you're
honestly,
like,
exactly. But I was working in between one of my various stints at this company. Because I've left and come back like 4 or 5 times. All under good terms.
Severance pay Ripley. That's what they call you. It's true.
So at the time I was working, I did like 2 years working for residential electric.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about getting like my license and yada yada yada. And we were working at a house one day, and it's a 240 amperage, which is basically all the power into the house.
Okay.
In one spot, basically. Just to explain it in the dumbest version.
You're playing with.
I said to the guy, I go, Johnny. I literally said to him, I go, Johnny, that box isn't safe. We should safe that off before we start working on it. Before he could finish the sentence of, don't be such a pussy, a literal arc of basically lightning occurred from his screwdriver hitting the bus bar, which is where all the wires connect to, and fucking fired him across the room. Because that's how powerful that shit is. Like,
don't be such a puss.
Yeah. He
Good Lord.
Fucking on his ass. Like that happens. Your day is over.
My week would be over. My week would be over. I'd be like, I'm not going back to work this week. I'm good.
So like, if you're basically if you're touching like metal, basically your body becomes a conduit. So like if he were to hit it with his left hand and have his right hand on like another piece of metal, basically it'll pass through his arm, do all sorts of damage, nasty shit, pass through his heart, probably explode his heart, and then keep going through his right arm on the other piece of metal. So in this case, he just hit it with his screwdriver in his hand, and he wasn't touching anything else, so it just throws him.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the thought of like, you know, after he's on the ground and he's on his ass and he kind of gets his bearings and like, I just look right at him. I go, "Don't be such a what? what were you saying? What's that, bud?
What's that?
Don't be such a what?"
Couldn't quite hear you there. And then you're just like, "All right, everybody, get a different box. All right, so nobody else is just like ends up like this."
We're
jackass. Like,
yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
Just yep. The fact that he had to look at me and with his screwdriver in hand and say, "Don't be such a pussy," when he could have just kept paying attention and ignored it. Bingo.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Well, your boss, sounded a lot like Vince McMahon from the years 1998 till about 2000 and I would say probably about 2006, 2007.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe 2008 because he did get some. The reason I'm bringing it up, today's topic is in that year range, 2006 to be precise. And it involves Shane McMahon, Shawn Michaels, Vince McMahon, and God. In the year 2006, Vince McMahon started the year giving Shawn Michaels every ounce of hell that he could, making him lose, costing him matches, being an absolute pain in his ass, to the point where at Wrestlemania 22, Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon wrestled in a street fight, which is one of the best WrestleMania street fights of all time. There's been a lot of them, but it was a really good one. Vince was doing a lot of shit and putting his body through a lot of stuff. I guess to maybe atone for the sins that he's done, but nothing can atone for the sins that he's done. And Shawn Michaels beats him at WrestleMania, which is Vince McMahon's greatest creation. Vince McMahon then goes, whoa. There was a problem. I was fighting against two guys. I was fighting against Shawn Michaels and God. He had God on his side. To the point where Vince McMahon says, "You know what? At Backlash, it'll be myself, Shane McMahon, my son, taking on Shawn Michaels and God." And I seriously cannot explain this any better, as they literally had God show up.
I was going to say, please, for the love of God, have God show up. Please.
God does show up, and it is great. Chet, I don't think you've seen this, or if you have seen it, you haven't.
I know it exists.
Yes.
That's all I can tell you is I know it exists.
So, when faced against God and Shawn Michaels, against Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon, who ends up winning? Bask, what is your prediction?
As a non-practicing man who has been what's the word I'm looking for? What they dunk you in the water? What is that called? Baptized. I am going against God.
I'm going against God.
I'm putting my chips on the table.
Me every time I eat McDonald's. I go to McDonald's. Yeah. I'm going against God here. All right, so you got the McMahons. Chet, knowing what you know about Vince McMahon, do you think he'd be humble enough to put God over?
No. God no.
All right.
After we're through here, I do have to talk about long-term booking. So carry on.
Long-term booking, baby. All right. So we're gonna watch from Backlash 2006, the McMahons, Vince and Shane McMahon, taking on HBK, Shawn Michaels, and God, the Father Almighty, God. We'll be watching that here on the Dork Side of the Ring. We'll be right back. Brum here, just taking a break real quick from the show, just to do a couple plug-in stuff. At Dorkside Ring on Twitter, at Dorkside Ring on Instagram, at Grum, or I am Grum on Twitter and Instagram. Well, Rum.tv and Dorkside TV, the companion link trees for my overall content and everything pertaining to the Dork Side of the Ring, the Discord, the community Discord, Discord.rum.tv. Yeah, but that one's a little tongue-tied, twister one because it's new. But yes, the other thing I want to talk about is the YouTube. Go to if you go to the link tree, dorkside.tv, you can go to the YouTube there, subscribe, and help us out. You get to 100, you get the custom URL and everything, so it can be youtube.com/dorksideoftheringpod or whatever I make it be. But help us out grow there. The full podcast will go up there. I will start slowly uploading those in the next couple weeks, as well as some little short pieces and snippets and whatnot, and other content. Because I'm going to start doing some more wrestling content, commentary on stuff and whatnot, video essays and things, all from there. So I appreciate that. The other thing that I want you to do is go to support.rum.tv. Check it out. It is the Patreon. If anything on there tickles your fancy, go ahead. Leave become a patron today. It helps us grow. You get some content out of it, and it's all fantastic all the way around. Appreciate it. Now back to the show. We're back on the Dork Side of the Ring. Bask, start us off. First impressions.
That was incredible. God himself coming down as a beam of light to fight Vince McMahon. I'm sorry, I can't get over that. The chair.
Oh man, so much.
That was awesome.
God's busting it down. What'd you think about God throwing that ass in a circle?
No, God was busting it down sexual style. It was great. He came into the ring. God, he was doing the stanky leg. He was fucking it up. To be completely honest with you,
it's true. That's true. Who would have thought it? You would have seen that in 2006. Chet,
sir.
What say you? First impressions of the God and HBK versus the McMahons.
God lost a tooth and did the right thing and went home. did not stay in the club. Lost a tooth and said, "I'm out. Sorry, HBK. I am going to leave you to fight your toughest battles."
When you see there's only
big dog.
When you see there's only one footstep, it's because I left. That's why.
Yeah, buddy. I caught a cab.
Oh my god.
Good lord. What a shit show, man. So we'll start as we always do with the very beginning. Vince McMahon comes down, claims that, he is God, blah blah blah. Well, introduces God. God comes out to this very gospel-y music, very similar to Brother Love's.
There was someone was playing a harp in the background.
God comes out, gets about halfway down the ramp, and Vince goes, no. We're going to do it my way. We're in my house. We're going to do it WWE style. Hit the music. And then they hit the music that was played for Ernest the Cat Miller in WWE, and then Brodus Clay, Somebody Call My Mama. And God, they had a spotlight that was representing God go around the ring, all while Vince is breaking it down, busting a move himself.
Doing the old stand back dance moves.
Just incredible. He was hitting them. He was hitting it. God was not to be shown up though. Saw God doing the stanky leg. He was cranking the Soldier Boy. What else was hot? He's cranking that Spider-Man. Yeah, it was good stuff. Great stuff. Oh my god, I can't wait to do the stand back. The very first thing, because look who's in the background shredding the guitar. Yes,
who is that?
That is the real American, the immortal. That is Hulk Hogan in a sleeveless tuxedo, shredding on a bass because that's all he knows how to play. What?
What gave it away was the hair.
Yeah.
The skullet.
The skullet.
The fact he had a skullet at 30 is absolutely
steroid, brother.
Yeah. Still why?
I kept my hair longer than Hogan did. That's fucking terrible.
Hogan still got it. He's just holding on to the last remains of it.
That's not real. That's a silk weave.
Dude, when you can see that it's a fucking wig, it is hilarious.
God, like when it's been a few months since he's had it touched up. Oh
yeah. But yeah, so God busts it down. Then they go. He wants the referee to check him for any weapons, and the ref's like, "There's nobody fucking there." Like, God damn it, do it! And slaps the shit. Vince slaps the shit out of the ref. The ref starts to do it, and he's like, "Wait, no! I want God to bring it. I want him to bring everything." And this match is now a no holds barred. Which, Bask, I told you what the difference between a no holds barred and a regular street fight match are. Inform the listeners. Yeah, what is it?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing, Your Honor.
Right. It's the exact same match, but with a different branding. It is saltines and greater value saltines.
look, both great saltines.
That's very true. Yeah, I could eat a whole sleeve of them. I love saltines, man. They're so good.
Yeah, who among us?
It might be very pale and Caucasian of me to say, but I love just eating saltines, just regular. Just
the ultimate hospital snack.
They are the cracker ass crackers of crackers.
Yeah,
their new branding.
Yeah, look. Hey, sign us up. Dorkside saltines.
A cracker for crackers.
A cracker for crackers.
You see, if I was any good with Photoshop, I'd make that right now.
It's a good idea.
I'll get Wheezy on the case before this episode drops.
Go get one of the shop boys to do it.
Shout out Big Wheezy and Shop Boys LLC.
Yeah,
they have made every Photoshop edit that I've ever requested, and it's just me throwing 3 pictures at Wheezy and be like, "Figure it out." He nails it every time.
Every time.
Yeah. My thought process, your fingers. Like,
listen, I'm just an idea guy.
It's so good.
I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts. You go ahead and take care of that.
Yeah. I don't care how you figure it out to do it, but this is what I want. It's so good. So then Vince, Shawn Michaels comes out. Vince gives off another incredible gifable face. Shawn Michaels comes out, which I didn't realize this. I've been a wrestling fan for my entire life. I watched this in real time. I've watched this match several times. I've watched this era of HBK several times. He really wears he put the crown of thorns around HBK for some of his merch, and that is really just very daring for somebody who is a born again Christian, because that's kind of heresy. But I mean, WWE is ultimately the one who's doing it, but he absolutely had the sway to be like, nah, I don't want the crown of thorns that was around Jesus' head when he was crucified on my logo. Awesome.
And granted, the Lord forgives, but that was a very amoral man for many years leading up to that.
I've talked about this. I think it was with Youngest and OXO. We were talking about, and it was also it was also with X and Neezus talking about his 1997 coke binging, sleeping with Sonny, and having Kevin Nash be his security guard. Be like, hey Candido.
One of the greatest quotes about that. You ain't getting in the club, little man. Sorry, ain't seen her.
So Bask, there was the most downloaded woman of 1996 from AOL. Sonny.
Oh, God.
All right? That's how far back we're going. 1996. She is the most...
We're going to get into a LimeWire bit in a minute.
She is the most... And it's literally one photo. It is a single photo that was downloaded the most. 1 million times over AOL. She and Shawn Michaels had some very extramarital affairs without both of them being married. That's Sonny, yes.
Okay.
She had a longtime boyfriend by the name of Chris Candido, who, for all intents and purposes, was a really good wrestler, but was short as fuck. He was 5'4". They were about the same height. Okay,
So
but
he's got Connor Lane's problem. Got it.
But he's really good at wrestling. He's really like, if he was 7 inches taller, we're talking about a guy who would have been pushing to be one of the all-time greats type shit.
I cannot undersell how fucking good Chris Candido was in the ring.
Chris Candido, like we talk about like Seth Rollins being really good at the ring, Will Ospreay people consider really good in the. Chris Candido blew them out of the water in 1996.
Yeah,
like he was that fucking dude. He just also happened to be shorter than me in the 4th grade.
Like, as tall as the middle rope.
Like, it was a shame, but he was a really good worker. Also had the unfortunate thing of having one of the hottest women in the world at the time in love with him.
Hold on. Unfortunate, Your Honor.
Yes, unfortunate. Because a lot of guys was like, he don't deserve her. Like, she needs a real guy. She needs a real star. Like,
look, what an awesome situation to have.
Well, here's the thing. The problem became, eventually the door kept getting knocked on until the door fell down and in walked Shawn Michaels, who dirty Mac the fuck out of Chris Candido, to the point where he would have Sonny come to his personal locker room. They would be having sex.
Oh no.
Shawn Michaels' good friend and part-time bodyguard, and also one of the greatest bag getters in all of pro wrestling, Kevin Nash, who also was a strip club bouncer / manager. Yeah, that's what she looks like now. She's not looking too hot now.
That's 5 separate mugshots.
Oh, she's going through it. She got issues.
I was gonna say, you could tell me that all of these people have been like multiple arrests for multiple crimes, and I'd probably try.
So, as the story goes.
Also, real quick, with all due respect, no one with the name Sonny has ever stayed out of trouble.
No, her name is Tammy Lynn Sitch.
No.
Oh, I know, but like nickname Sonny? No.
Yeah. Well, the reason why is because
she's got an even more white trash real name.
Yeah. So Tammy Lynn Sitch. So the story goes, her and Shawn Michaels are fornicating in his locker room before a show. Chris Candido, knowing but not quite sure, goes, "Hey, is Sonny in there?" to Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is a clean 7 feet tall. Chris Candido is a clean 5 feet 4 inches.
Round mound to rebound.
He's like, he goes, "Hey man, I know Sonny's in there." And Kevin Nash goes, "Sorry, little man, you're not getting in the club tonight."
Oh.
And it gets to the point where, like, that's the one story. The other story that Kevin Nash tells is, he felt so bad for Chris Candido. One time they were in a place where he knew some connects, that he took Chris Candido to a strip club and paid for everything. He told Chris Candido, "Do whatever you want, I'm paying for it." Because he felt that bad. That like it got to the point where Kevin Nash, like, dude, this is really fucked up, but like I got to do this for Shawn, but also I could do something for Chris here. And like, mind you, Chris Candido at this time is like 27. 26, 27. He's young. Tammy Lynn's like maybe 25.
He's not that young.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, he's young, but like pro wrestling, like, about to hit the prime. Tammy, Sonny's like 24, 25, about the same age. They went to high school together. Her and Chris, like, the typical like high school couple that like is going to get married, but the atypical version of that, which is like, she just be fucking a bunch of dudes, because she starts like, this just starts a rolling thing of where like she just keeps like treating Chris Candido like shit in the relationship rather than like break up with her, to the point where Shawn Michaels had her build his house that he'd end up living in. Hey, what kind of cabinets should I get? All this stuff, and then asked her to move in with her. Shawn Michaels asking Sonny. And she's like, "I can't do that to Chris because he'll kill himself."
Jesus.
And then proceeded to just keep doing everything else that she did. Like, she's like, "If I leave Chris, he'll kill himself. But if I'm still with him, but I'm fucking other dudes, like, yeah,
perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. But,
I'm just not going to go further. You know, I'm not going to make this I'm not going to be not toxic. Yeah, no. Sunny, bad vibes.
We're just... And unfortunately, she lives very close to where I live. So there's like a legitimate chance in the world that like, hey, somebody drunk driving a car that could clip me would be Sunny.
Well, maybe she'll be in jail, but you should probably be in jail.
God willing.
Yeah. But yeah, so HBK comes down. They have they start the match out. Shawn Michaels is just flying all over the place, beating the shit out of the McMahons. Slams Shane's head into a piece of the stage, and then crossbody dives into Vince McMahon as they both fall off the stage into a little safety spot. And the funniest angle, because it's just from like you see Shawn Michaels running towards Vince, and you just see Vince going
Wee!
Wee! It's just fun. And then they show the replays of it because it's like, this match is ridiculous. And Shawn Michaels starts to walk up the stage and is met by the second most sickening thud of a chair meeting a skull for that match. Just insane. The start of the match, Chet. What did you? Where were your thoughts in the start of the match?
The start of the match was great because it covers up exactly what Vince and Shane cannot do, which is wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
And so Shawn Michaels is, he's the guy that he can wrestle with a broom and yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
When we got to the outside and started going through tables, that weird cut of sheet metal that Shane McMahon got thrown into, I was having the time of my life. Then when we got to that chair shot,
buddy.
Yeah, so
buddy.
Yeah, so there's a little bit in between. I want to mention because they start beating the fuck out of him. Shawn Michaels blades. He's bleeding like a stuck pig. Shane McMahon judo throws him into the barricade, and that might be like one of the more dangerous moves of the match because like the margin for error is so goddamn small, and he did it with such violency. Like it was so quick.
Hit so hard.
He was like, I'm ripping your arm out the socket.
It's not even the arm, it's his leg when he comes over. Like if he hits that at the wrong angle, his leg is snapping in half.
Oh, absolutely. And good Lord, would that have been a disgusting thing to see? And yet we continued on, and the match is just Shane and Vince just beating the fuck out of Shawn Michaels to the point where then Shawn is knocked out cold on his feet. Vince tunes up the bands and goes to give him a sweet chin music. Only Vince McMahon has two left feet, and neither of them know how to hit the sweet chin music. And he gets caught, and Shawn Michaels mounts the comeback. Shane McMahon comes into the ring with a steel chair, and there's a lot of steel chairs hitting skull in like 2006 and then all the way back to about 97, where it's like, good Lord, like Stone Cold has done this to Vince McMahon quite many times of just throwing everything into like diving as he's swinging a chair. And Shane McMahon hit his own father the hardest anyone has ever hit Vince McMahon with a steel chair.
Dude, he put some stank on it.
Bask, what did you have the exit velocity at?
That shit looked like it hurt.
And the chair didn't look that banged up either. Like the chair just looked like a little dent, but he hit him.
No, that chair looks like what happens when I sit in one. No, okay. All right, now we're gonna do this. I broke 2 chairs in high school. It was hilarious.
Okay. I mean, listen, as long as it was funny.
Look, yeah, no,
I sit down for U.S. It wasn't like U.S. history. It was like I can't remember what it was. It was like some U.S. politics. I don't know what it was. Either way, we had one of those desks that had, like where it has like the chair like bolted to the
actual
desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the back legs, like they were just booger welded on. I don't know if you guys know what a booger weld is.
Yeah, they're just bullshit.
Yeah, whole lot of
Thin,
nothing.
thin hollow metal, nothing holding it up. Yeah,
Exactly, yeah. And I guess the booger welds had like kind of cracked. So I sat down and I don't know if you guys can envision it, but just the legs just kind of slid out from under me, so I did like jackknifed down.
yeah.
Oh Lord.
It was so funny. So funny.
Yeah,
The entire class is just sitting there watching me, and it was awesome. It was so funny.
The chair was just.
It sounded like a gunshot went off.
Oh yeah. When he hit him with it, holy hell.
Like a solid exit velo of like 121.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, that's out of the stadium into the parking lot. That's a McCovey Cove, too far out for some of the kayakers.
It caught up with Bret Hart's skull from its 8 years prior.
Yeah,
that's how fast it was going.
You know, he fucking and like he's still, you know, he ends up somehow getting up. Yeah, but yeah, if only Shane McMahon meant to do that to Vince. Here's the thing: if he would have connected with Shawn Michaels, though, he's also like good. Michaels' neck is snapped because
there was like not even a concussion or a possible crack in the skull. We're talking like vertebrae busting too. For both of them.
He unmixed his Vince's gray matter into black and white. Like that's how hard he hit him. But then
Vince thought he scored a touchdown to win the state playoffs. When they put him up on their shoulders, Vince thought he scored a touchdown to win the state playoffs. That's where he was there.
It took him back to the 50s.
Michael Jordan when he hit the shot against Utah and he just goes, yeah.
Stuck it, Mike.
Yeah. That's Vince.
So they end up the both McMahons end up eating. Oh yeah, there's also the point where God leaves the building. Like Vince and Shane are beating Shawn Michaels so bad that Vince grabs a microphone, turns to the corner where God is supposedly at, and he goes, God, look where you going? Hey, look at what you've made in your own image. And then like they shoot it with the camera as if God is walking up the stage and leaving.
The camera panning to the ramp and there just being no one there is very funny.
So good.
Yeah. It was before Kevin Dunn got obsessed with jump cuts.
Yeah.
Good.
He's like, they like it in the Marvel movies. Let's do it in ours.
Let's do it every 8 seconds, tops.
But then he says God has left the building, which is a meme that
beautiful
need to grab. And then he gets his skull sent into the front of his forehead, sent to the back of his head. So then
it's not, like I said, it's not lost on me that we watched that 15 times, and every time Vince's skull goes back and to the left. Back and to the left.
Cha-cha slide.
So don't need the Zapruder film to see that. You see it in clear daylight.
Yeah. That was an HD, baby.
So then we got...
Dr. Ravel will be jealous to tweet that out.
So then we got... Shawn Michaels grabs 2 tables, and there are significantly more than 3 tables left underneath the ring at the time.
There are so many tables still left.
So many tables. And sets them up. He sets the McMahons up on one table apiece next to each other, and then proceeds to grab at least a 16-foot ladder. It might be 20 feet. It was high up there. So high, and because of the positioning, Shawn Michaels had to climb the top rope to then start climbing the ladder because he could not climb it enough from the other way. He gets to the top, and you're like, oh no, he's going to kill the McMahons. And then he turns around and then just jumps off the side. The way it's shot is ridiculous because he just jumps off the side, out of frame, and then you go, oh, the Spirit Squad's there. Now, Chet, you were going to save this for when we start recording. You wanted to explain the Spirit Squad in your own words to Bask.
Oh, so yeah, please.
The floor is yours.
They were a group of wrestlers that were also a group of male cheerleaders.
Awesome.
Whose sole purpose was to just be Vince McMahon's henchman. That's really it.
That's awesome.
And that thing that you saw them do, they were doing it to Kane and Big Show. That's why they got a little extra mustard on it, because they were used to lifting 500-pound men to do it.
Yeah, they debuted earlier in the year. They helping distract Jerry the King Lawler against the Coachman, so Coach could win and go to win the last spot in the Royal Rumble. And the whole bit was they were male cheerleaders, so they would come out and they would be like, "Give me a C, give me an O, give me an A, give me a C, give me an H. What's that spell? Coach, coach, coach." Like, just do that stuff. But then they would also just beat people up. Like, they would just jump people on mob mentality. And they got over real fucking fast because nothing wrestling fans hate more than male cheerleaders. And then they positioned them against Kane and Big Show, who are both 7-foot monsters, who were the tag team champions at the time. And they beat them. And the WrestleMania goes nuclear over it because it's like, these fucking weirdos, they win, blah, blah, blah. They end up winning the titles, but their finisher is where they each grab a leg or a limb, lift you up, and then slam you. Well, they do it to Big Show. They do it to Kane at first because they're showing it off like, wow, that's insane. And Kane gets up to about maybe 6-7 feet up and comes down on his back. They do it to Big Show and he goes 8 feet. They get a lot more. They get more air on Big Show, and they just go up and comes down, and it comes down with such force that they jump up because they bounce up and they look like the most insane shit ever. They get they're a little hype because they're like, shit, we gotta pin him, but no one's pinning him because they're all like, yeah, we lifted him up and shit like that. But then they would go on to be the tag team champions until Ric Flair and Roddy Piper beat them at Taboo Tuesday, which was an insane sentence to say.
How do they always have really good names? Taboo Tuesday. There's some great names for some of these.
Look, they used to have some really good ones, and then they just got lazy and they started calling things after matches. Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber.
Hold on. Hell in a Cell is still really good.
It goes hard.
Look, it's for a match, but the entire event being called Hell in a Cell.
Fair. That's
is
fair.
not good. You used to have No Way Out, Armageddon, Vengeance, Judgment Day. You had some Great American there's so much. Halloween Havoc going unused until Triple H used it for NXT is one of the biggest sins.
That's so good.
Halloween Havoc used to have the best stage setup too, Bask.
It
was awesome.
There was a monster, and it was always sponsored by Slim Jim. So you always had the Slim Jim logo front and center in the stage.
Halloween Havoc, sponsored by Slim Jim.
Oh yeah,
the logo is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that right now.
Yeah, it was great. And then they would have graves as you walk out, next inflatable graves and shit like that. It's insane. It was great.
Look at this shit. Let me post it in there real quick. There's 2 of them here.
Oh, I know. I'm seeing it right now where there's the WCW head, Slim Jim on each side.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really a sign of the day where the graphic design is my passion type shit, where it's I'm just going to put out bad shit because people will still buy our product even if the shit sucks because they're just conditioned to do so. I miss the days of going to a McDonald's and it looked fun. Now they just look they're all gray.
Dude, remember how awesome Taco Bell used to look?
It's incredible. Architecture used to be a passion and something to be prideful.
We used to be a country.
We used to be a nation. That's honestly, I want to redo the newsroom monologue, but instead of we used to be a country, we used to build things. Our Taco Bells looked unique. Our McDonald's looked enticing. Oh no, we lost Chet. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, he'll come back. There he is.
There he is.
Welcome back.
It's the picture of that one town in Pennsylvania where it's just McDonald's, the Main Street USA picture. Let me find it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Now everything just looks so weird and boxy and
boring.
If socialism was a Taco Bell.
Who's got the socialism as beer? Who's got it? Where's it?
That hurts me in my soul. My alcoholism will not allow me to keep that in my phone.
Oh, it's good. So so with the whatchamacallit, Uh, so like with the match, that's right. Did they jump over the Spirit Squad? Spirit Squad does the lift thing. They get now, like we said, they've been doing it to 300, 400, 500 pound dudes for the last month and a half leading up to this. They lift up Shawn Michaels 16 feet into the air, and he just falls through the table. And I know at least two of them were like, "Oh, he's dead. We've killed him.
Yeah.
We have killed Shawn Michaels." Yeah. I missed that. I missed those days. Look at that.
Dude, I'm dead serious. When I see that, I'm like, man, I kind of want to go back.
But let's go back to those days, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that.
Go back to just absolutely destroying the planet even more than we were now.
Yeah.
That might be just like somewhere in for those who, this is obviously podcast, a visual medium. We're talking about, if you look up, I think it's literally called Breezewood, PA. Breezewood, Pennsylvania. If you look that up in Google Images, you'll see a picture of what's like a mid-2000s like main street in Pennsylvania, I guess, where there's an Exxon, a Sunoco, gifts
Taco
and
Bell in the
souvenirs, a Pizza Hut, a Shell, and a McDonald's all in one picture.
Yeah.
It's one of those photos where the more you look at it, the more stuff you see. It's insane.
It's like it's a Where's Waldo of bullshit from
You had the Walmart truck.
yeah,
Quiznos.
Perkins,
There's a
Walmart.
Quiznos in there. There's
Yeah.
another gas station, a Petro.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, a Quizno. There's a Quizno.
There's two
And
Exxons.
There's a
Exxons.
Subway right next to the Quiznos.
There's a
in between the
Perkins.
Perkins.
Yeah.
Turkish Shell. I just like to put so running
There's
down
a
like,
Starbucks.
from top to bottom. There is of like within like 200 yards of each other. There's a Sunoco, a Shell, and an Exxon.
Oh yeah,
All
this is.
within 200 yards of each other.
I'm trying to see here. I'm trying to like. It's tough to read what the.
And a Petro. What's Petro 2? Petro Lube? What is that?
It's on across the street too.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. It is first off, there's a truck in the back underneath the bridge that is like entirely almost jackknifed. Like
Oh,
it
no, I
is.
think it's coming off the highway.
Yeah.
It might be, but it also that's a wide turn for it to be coming off the highway. This is in Western Pennsylvania because this is in Central Pennsylvania because you head west towards Pittsburgh and Harrisburg.
Yeah.
But it's right before. So a lot of people may know this. Those who drive and have driven on the highways. But like you have these stops and stops and whatnot where like for the first like 2.5 miles from the exit, like on and off ramps, are nothing but gas stations and fast food joints.
It's like in the olden days when like towns would sprout up along railroad tracks.
Yes,
Basically,
like
yeah.
for like the interstate highway system.
Yeah, exactly. But instead of a town of people, it's a town of business. It's Taco Bell, Sunoco, McDonald's. It's multiple gas stations. There's multiple like no-name diners, a Quiznos subs. I'm trying to see. There's like multiple gift shops. I'm just zooming in on things to see like what else is.
Yeah,
there.
I need to like forensics.
There's a conference center. There's a KFC. There's just man. There's
Gateway Conference. Yeah, Gateway Conference.
There's
a Ramada Inn down the road on the opposite side of the bridge.
Yeah,
is there actually?
There probably is. Yeah.
There's also a Valero right next to the Exxon across the street from the Exxon.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so much.
There's so many. There's 2 Exxons.
Look,
in 2 blocks.
It is like I've done, and I'm sure Chet, you've done this too. This like not long haul drives, but driving 4 minimum hours to places, and you're like, we gotta stop. I gotta get gas, or we gotta stop and get food. Like I had this place I would go travel. I had a friend who lived in North Carolina. I go down to see them at least once or twice a year, and I would always make sure I stopped at a rest. There was a rest stop that was 3 hours in the trip. I would stop to use the bathroom, and then another hour and a half down the road was an exit, and it had literally the greatest set of choices I could have for like fast food. Like,
oh yeah, no, it's you hit one of those where it's got like 7 different fast food joints and like 2 sit down diners.
Yeah,
you're like, this is nirvana.
This is
you're gonna find an iron skillet and a Perkins.
yeah. Like the food side, like food exit is like three or four columns high. Like you're like there's so much food here, and then like turn right and you get half of them. Turn left. I'm like, today I'm gonna turn right. I'll turn left next time.
You're rolling the dice.
Yeah, you're like, all right, I can't go wrong either way, so let's just pick one out of a hat.
And so again, if you aren't following along, just type in Breezewood, PA.
Yeah.
I think if you literally just type in Breezewood, PA meme, it's the first thing that comes up. Let me just make sure. Yes, Breezewood, PA meme. It's the first thing that comes up.
It's so good. Look at that. I know that Pizza Hut is good. It smells good.
Oh, yeah.
I know the breadsticks are so good there. That's what I know.
It's shaped like a proper hut.
Yeah. As it should be.
It's the what's the word I'm looking for? Slanted roof.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The hat. It's a hat. It's a Pizza Hut hat.
Zero places in the surrounding area would even attempt to out pizza it.
You can't, and you still can't. I guarantee you that Pizza Hut's still running because no one else.
And I also know for a fact that the McDonald's restaurant has the big M's on each side.
For sure, and it's got a big plate.
90s M's,
and it's got
there is nothing ever like that. Is the most conservative town you've ever driven through.
And the play place is 3 stories tall. Like
the play place has has had multiple overdose.
Yeah, but like this whole setup here, this whole setup here has such huge weekend dad energy to it. It's great. Like we're gonna hit the McDonald's before we get on the highway before I bring you back to your mom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look, can confirm. As a child,
this is a divorced dad paradise.
Absolutely.
This is where the victims of divorce court go to.
Shit! I should get him a toy before we get back on the highway here. Oh, the gifts and souvenir shop is right there.
Perfect.
I can get him a
shit. It's your birthday.
Bear.
I can get him a 12-year-old Pokemon toy.
You like Pokemon?
Yeah, 22.
No, it's not Pokemon. He gets him like
Dad. I'm 22 and I'm here just to get the one thing that you can't give me, which is closure, and I don't know why I'm here.
This has been a real awkward trip, Dad. I'm not gonna lie to you.
There's an odd anxiety that I feel with looking at that picture because I've been there far too many times.
Anyway,
sorry for riffing on Breezewood, PA for the last.
Look, it's why I go to therapy so I can laugh at my own pain.
Exactly. Why do you think I drink like I'm trying to hurt myself? Speaking of that, I was in the casino the other night. Actually, there was a slight chance we could have done it in person.
Yeah, you were telling me.
So I was in Philly on Friday night. And I was in the casino afterward playing roulette, and I won a decent amount of money. And I actually dropped $100 chip, and I was actually too drunk to bend over and pick it up. I just fucking kicked it to someone and said, "It's yours, man. I can't do it." Because I knew that if I bent over to pick it up, I was going down.
Yeah, you were
smart.
I would just like to point out it is 14 hours from me to Breezewood, PA. I will be making the drive someday.
All right, well, you let me know, and you let me know when you hit hour 15, and I'll meet you there because I'm sure it's probably a 2-hour drive for me, and we can recreate the photo.
Yes, dude, I would love.
I'm sure somebody just guys being
photos. My wedding photos were taken on the bluff of Breezewood, PA.
You just do your engagement photos, and you just take the picture from the pictures are taken from this angle, but you're
from the bluff.
But
whatever building.
But you're down. But you're down at where the Pizza Hut is. That's us.
Wait. I got another angle. I got another angle of the photo.
Oh no! Please tell me
it's from the grassy knoll.
Yeah. It's literally my engagement photos. They're a grassy knoll.
That's it.
God, this is awesome.
Oh God, that's now. That's a now photo. Oh, not a now photo, but that's a.
That's like a 2011. That's a 2008 housing crisis photo.
Yeah, that's the photo of like the news report. Like that's a still frame.
Yeah,
from, like the B-roll.
That's when
where they're like,
look at the gas prices.
This is the photo that like that goes on like good morning, good day Philadelphia, from like talking about like the 2008 election. But like, rural town Pennsylvania.
Yeah, middle Americans.
For U.S. for Americans like John Jacobson from Breezewood, Pennsylvania, he's concerned about what both
isn't exactly clear.
This is where New Jersey for them. This is where New Jersey resident Dr. Oz is going to film his next campaign. While it's going on, Fetterman's going to have a 18-wheeler drive by with a picture of Dr. Oz at the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, it's so good.
God, that's I said it before, but I will visit Breezewood, PA one day.
It will happen.
Oh, Crumb, I did mean to bring up long-term booking.
Yes, long-term booking. Yeah. So hold on. So we'll get to that. So Vince, after HBK goes up in the air and crashes to the table, Vince pins him 1, 2, 3, and he's singing he's telling Shawn Michaels in unison with the song that he has no chance in hell. And then as the match ends and they go to cut to backstage, it is Vince and Shane on the shoulders of the Spirit Squad with, I believe that was Mikey, yelling, "If you want some, come and get it." So,
with the same voice of, "Who do you think you are? I am."
So, long-term booking. Chet.
I hope you know where I'm going with this.
I think I do.
So only Vince McMahon would have the balls to not let God win. So we see that happen. We see Vince do a lot of blasphemy throughout this entire process of leading up to this match. God's a patient man. He takes his time. Last year at WrestleMania, not this past one, but the year before, there was an hour-long delay due to a thunderstorm. Who do you think was responsible for that?
G.O.D., baby. G.O.D. And not the Gorillas in Destiny, G.O.D.
That is a 15-year booking right there.
Right. Here's a J. He's got 2 over. Like, he made sure that was the rubber match. He got, you remember, because in 2020, everybody else was canceling things, right? At the start of the pandemic. And Vince, despite holding Raws from their performance center and empty warehouses, he was hell-bent on hosting WrestleMania from Tampa Bay in 2020 amid the global pandemic in April of 2020. And he
to the point where he made a $13 million donation to Ron DeSantis to get declared an essential business.
No, correct. He didn't.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And the city of Tampa was like, no, we can't do this.
They're such fucking cruel people, but God, that fucks.
Like,
that's so fucking cool.
They moved their primary offices from Connecticut to Florida for that. Like, they literally picked up everything that they could from the offices and brought them down to the performance center so that they could be like, oh, well, we're a Florida business. We're essential.
Yep. And they just took over the Tampa Bay Rays stadium.
Well, first, so it starts out.
I forgot. Yeah,
so the pandemic starts. They're empty warehouses from their performance center. Then they expand the performance center. They have like their own people fill the stands, sort of. And then they go and get the Thunderdome. They use the Amway Center for the where the Orlando Magic use in Orlando, because they have a good relationship with the city of Orlando. They've held WrestleManias there multiple times. There was talks of having a physical WWE Hall of Fame in Orlando, Florida. And then when